Hello there, and welcome back. Well, it's taken me, I have to say, a few days to get over from the blacking incident that episode that you saw in the last video. I have to say, I was so wrecked. It really was. It took a couple of days before I could do anything. Anyway, I'm sort of not 100% full energy, but I need to get on with things. So I'm back onto trying to do the dinette that I was so rudely interrupted with a couple of weeks ago when I got the knock on the boat telling me I was going into the water. Afternoon, and a mild sight, as they say in Austria. So I've done some of the dinette. It's, well, kind of half of it. It's a kind of hybrid concept. So on the port side, there is this kind of double dinette, as it were, for two people, which you should be able to leave up most of the time. Now, it's just at the moment, it's just basically there's still an awful lot of sanding and filling, and of course the usual painting. And there also, I'm sitting on a pillow at the moment. There will be some obviously need some cushions for it. And despite my absolute insanity with the mattress assembly, I will be paying somebody to make the cushions for this, because otherwise they do look. It's very difficult to get, I know, box cushions to look professionally made if you're not a professional. Anyway, so sort of halfway there, and then got to now turn my attention to the port side, but lunchtime first, obviously. I have to say, the walk between the boat and the container when I'm working is getting very old. And in fact, yesterday I wrecked up a piece of wood because I kind of guessed the measurements rather than coming all the way back down to the boat to measure them. And guess what? It was my guess was completely wrong, and I wrecked a piece of wood. The last piece I had as well. So then I've had to think of another way of doing it, and that's caused me yet more delay. Anyway, serves me right on that one. That was 2 minutes to the literal second, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which you do when you're cutting up woods and trying to make things, it really stacks up. Afternoon. Well, a few days have gone by, and I've done the other side of the dinette. So, although I've been working my proverbial arse off there for over a year, I do quite like to lie down when I'm relaxing. So this is, you can have this as a, of course, again, like the other one, there will be cushions. So this is sort of a chaise, but also, obviously, some seating if you've got some people around. There's a sort of fixed seat. Then, if you've suddenly got a lot of friends around, or there's two of you feeling lazy, so you can both convert to two long seats. Then, if there are a few of you for dinner, you can have some people sitting here or here. Because the seats are sized for the the sort of dinette with a little raised platform, and I couldn't get longer ones, I've had to chuck up the middle island legs, otherwise there wouldn't be enough room for people's legs between the tabletop and the chair once the cushions are in. But it's come out okay. They're hollow outside to try and minimise the weight, but they seem pretty sturdy. There's lots of glue and screws in there. And if you've suddenly found a lot of friends, you can have, I would say you'll probably get at least 6, certainly 6 easily, probably 8 around this table. Originally I'd done it in one big table and it was really great, but I came to the conclusion that this piece of wood, well, I've kind of got used to hauling large pieces of plywood around, I thought that anybody else, and even me, you know, I don't really want to be hauling plywood around. Anyway, so I cut it in two, which is not, you know, it's not quite as stable, the two things. What I've done is there's a bolt under here, so when you put the two together, it bolts together, and so it becomes a bit more stable together. And if you don't notice, this actually moves back and forth very slightly on wheels. My favourite wheels. Because it's the only way I could sort of work it out, whereas this, I like it so you can actually be able to just, you know, this overhangs the seatings just slightly, and I think it's nicer to be for eating at. And it's the only way I could work out how to do it, that that you could get the gap, was to have this to move slightly. And then there's some bolts in the back there that are easily accessible, so you can lock it in place. And finally, it converts into a very nice, wide double bed for guests. I mean, it will be nice when they're cushions, but you know what I mean. And I can just see, I'm looking at the lights on the video, and as the lighting's bad, I'm looking like one of those IRA informants they used to have on the news. I'm all in a silhouette, but I'm sure you've seen enough of my face. Anyway, so yeah, it's taken quite a bit of thinking how to get this, but I think it's okay. Let me turn this around. That's better. Yes, I was saying it's. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but it's taken quite a bit of thought and fiddling around to get this. But I think it's come out quite. Well, as usual, proof of the pudding will be in the using. Let's see when we get some box cushions. But otherwise, I'm quite pleased with it. Well, the weather is, as you can see, is absolutely unseasonably lovely, and that is a great thing, because this weekend I'm planning to take the boat out on what I'm terming its sea trial. I'm going to take it out on the canal for a small journey to just to see if everything works. Because it's only to date it's only been back and forth to the hoist, which is literally probably no more than 30 metres away. So actually try a bit of a smaller bit of canal cruising, and happily one of my friends is coming along to join me. Sorry. Right, well, as you can see, there is a different background behind me. This is my dear and one of my oldest friends, Chris, who is one of the most faithful viewers of what he calls Steve TV. And anyway, yeah, so he's come for just, well, a day and a half, but I was really adamant. It's getting late, but I was really adamant I wanted to leave the marina, have my first night over in the marina. So I managed to wiggle my way out, which was I've lost the temporary bow fender. It's now stuck in the bushes on the bank. I'll have to go and rescue that later. But we are literally just around the corner of the marina. But it's very nice to have my first night on the actual canal, and with a good friend. And then for tomorrow we will go up a little bit, turn around, and that'll probably be it. Cheers. Morning. So Chris has has persuaded me, as friends do, that I really should try to take the tarpaulin off the roof light to see what it's like. So that is what I'm going to do. Well, that's somewhat brighter. As a PS, one of the other things that was preventing me taking the tile pin off, that was just didn't want to have to test to see whether it would leak. But as you can see, it's having a good test now, and touch wood, it seems to be okay. had to just very quickly moor up because one of the batteries is, well, two of the cells, the cell group number 9 have gone way out of kilter of the others there, and so you know, dangerously of getting towards their lower limit. Happily, I bought 2 spare cells, so what I'm going to do just now is just that word, but I'm going to swap out the number 9 group, and hopefully that'll get us back on track. I'm a bit crestfallen, but as Chris just pointed out, you know, this was what the whole you know, sea trial was for, to iron out any problems. And worst comes to worst, we can walk back to the car and the boatyard. Right, well, hopefully that's all sorted out, so we'll get on our way. That's it, ruddy hell, that is not a beginner's stretch of waterway. It was like just non-stop succession of hairpin bends, and I'll say it's a good job I've got to paint the boat yet, because there were a couple of scrapes, I'll have to confess to that. I've subsequently been told that that stretch of the canal is known as the Bends, and boy, it certainly is. Right then, well that's here we are back at the home mooring, and Chris has gone home now, unfortunately, so we had an overnight here and he left early. Anyway, so that's the first sea trial, and it didn't go without a hitch, as it were, or that's too... well, it went with a hitch. So I had a further problem with the batteries. Actually, just as we were coming home, one of the group number 6 decided to run away, and that was almost empty. So I'm going to have a look at that. I'm hoping that there was just a slightly bad connection, as it were, in the bus bars, and so I'll take that part of the battery apart and give it a very good cleaning and screw it again back together, and hopefully that solves the problem. Otherwise I'm a little bit screwed. But anyway, at least in the scheme of things, we got there and back. A few scrapes, and but the battery, the battery did get us a few miles, so I can move at least at some point. But yeah, I'm look forward to hopefully rectifying the battery issue. Anyway, that's about probably my time slot used up. So in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in another opportunity soon.